Hi, I'm Rachel. Thanks for stopping by my channel. It's time for another week of What's for Dinner. This week I'm sharing the simplest, easiest meals that I could come up with, because if you've been here before, you know that I had surgery on my foot last Friday. Here I am catching my husband coming in with pizza from our Ring camera, and I had spent the whole day in bed on this day. I was having some issues with the original cast that they put on me in the hospital, and the meds were making me sick to my stomach, so I had only been snacking on some graham crackers and drinking some Gatorade and just taking it easy. And so this pizza really did hit the spot when he came home with it, and I ended up having it in bed that night. The next day, I just couldn't take it any longer, and I called my doctor and went back in and got a new cast put on. The other one had cut up my toes pretty bad, and I was dealing with a lot of pain from that as well. And Bill did stock up our fridge with some microwave food that day, but I just couldn't take it. I wanted some veggies. So I hobbled into the kitchen on my little knee scooter, and I found a half of an onion in my refrigerator in a baggie. So I just got to work slicing that up into small pieces and just literally throwing it in a pan with some olive oil. I had a little head of broccoli that I had already washed previously, and this was hanging out in the fridge as well. So all I needed to do was cut off some of the florets and get those tossed into that olive oil and get them cooked up with those onions. I did make kind of a mess, and I admit I did not clean it up. I left it for my husband to come in and clean. I was doing the bare minimum. On this day, I was dealing with quite a bit of pain. I had a little bit of bell pepper that I also chopped up and threw in the pan as well. And like I was saying, my saint of a husband came home and just cleaned up my mess for me. I did make this dinner for myself. Everybody else was fine with the microwave food or convenience food, whatever you call it. You know, the frozen stuff, the pizza rolls and the chicken nuggets and stuff like that. But I think at this time my body was just craving some veggies. So this was an extremely tasty meal to me. I just seasoned up my veggies and my olive oil with a little bit of salt and garlic powder. There was still a half of a box of leftover takeout rice from Chinese. I don't know how old this was. Couldn't have been that old. It tasted just fine. But I just got to work breaking that up and getting it browned up in that rice as well. And like I said, this was really tasty to me, and I ended up just sprinkling some almonds on top of it in the end, and I made my dinner and I went to bed. Bill had to be somewhere on this night, and I know he would have cooked for me if he had been home. But I'm usually pretty satisfied with meals like this. On Tuesday, I was out of order, and Bill had to work late, so the boys did DoorDash from Taco Bell, which it wasn't very good, but it was appetizing enough just to get a meal in. On Wednesday, I was feeling a little bit better. I was starting to manage my pain levels without so many medications, and I'd had a nice shower. I did send Cameron into the deep freeze to find some meat, and this is what he came out with. So I decided that's what I was going to do, ham in the Instant Pot. So I got out a pan to make some rice, and also got the Instant Pot out. Here I am with my little basket on my walker, getting out the items that I think I'm going to need for the recipe that I'm making. We had not ordered groceries yet, and although we did have food in the house, it just wasn't everything that I needed to make what I would like to make. I don't know if that makes any sense. Like, I could go shopping in my house and have enough to make a meal, but anyway, I'm just kind of doing what I can with what I got. In the Instant Pot, I decided that I was just going to do the ham and the rest of the carrots that were just kind of sitting around in the fridge. I think I used one carrot out of the bunch. We're not really big on eating carrots. but I had quite a few left over, so we were going to use them up. And I just got to work getting them peeled and cleaned and chopped up into bite-sized pieces. Just getting out all these little things that I've always taken for granted done. I mean, I could do this in a flash before, but I don't know. Just getting the mess cleaned up, making sure that I have my trash can nearby so that I could get those out of the way. It takes some planning, and I really appreciate how much easier it is when I'm feeling well. But anyway, I have a cucumber that also needed to be cut up. I'm putting some macaroni noodles or some corkscrew noodles in this water. Originally, I planned to make rice, then changed it up and was like, I'm gonna make pasta salad. So anyhow, those carrots, I need to get those cut up while those noodles are cooking. So I just got them chopped into small pieces, and then I'm just gonna put them in the Instant Pot with that frozen ham. And I did let that cook for a long time. I can't remember exactly, and then do the release for quite a while as well. I tried to film putting the carrots in. It was just too hard. I needed both hands to do that. And I'm just sprinkling in some garlic powder and some chicken broth, and then that's how I cooked that ham and carrots for now. I do go back in later after it's done and add some brown sugar because I wanted the ham and the carrots to have a nice glazy brown sugar to it. So I used half of this cucumber for my pasta salad. My noodles are cooked and they are coming to room temperature. I know it's best to rinse them with cold water, but we are working with a limited mobility here. So if this looks like a very weird angle, it's because I am actually sitting on my walker to chop these cucumbers up. And so I'm sitting quite low up to the counter here. But I did manage to get my cucumber chopped into little bitsy pieces to go into our pasta salad. This pasta salad is going to have cucumber, the real bacon pieces, and some cheddar cheese that I'm also going to chop up. I'm going to put these cucumbers into my little watermelon bowl here just to get them out of the way and get that cheese cut up. Now, normally I would maybe rinse off or dry off this cutting board in between, but that's not going to happen. I do save my cucumber for later because, you know, we just wanted a little cucumber in that pasta salad. I wasn't making a big dish like I would if I was having family over. It was just us here, and I knew we didn't need as much pasta salad. So I just had this chunk of cheese in my fridge, and I'm going to get busy getting that cut as small as I can with a knife. Now that I have my cucumbers and my cheese all chopped up into small pieces, I'm just scooping in a couple of big spoonfuls of mayo. I had carried over the milk as well just because I thought I might need it. I was pretty low on mayonnaise, but I did get enough out of the bottle to make this pasta salad. And if you think I'm kind of an all over the place kind of cook, you have not seen anything yet, because here I go, just kind of willy-nilly throwing the ingredients into this bowl. I put in some lemon juice just to give it that flavor that I enjoy. You can do whatever you want. If you like vinegar, go ahead and do vinegar, or just don't do it at all. But that, like I said, I like that little zing from the lemon juice. And here, my noodles are not cold and they are steaming still. So I went ahead and mixed up these ingredients so far. I added my bacon pieces because I figured it wouldn't hurt if they went into that warm pasta, but I was going to wait before I added my cheese because you don't want your cheese to melt. Normally, I do rinse my pasta with cold water, but like I told you, 4 steps in my kitchen feels like 40 to me right now. And to get a strainer and get over to the sink to where the cold water is, I just wasn't feeling it. My foot was still at a point where any kind of pressure or tapping even a toe was still painful. So next I added a half a pack of ranch seasoning. Off camera, we did go back and add that other half a pack. So we did end up using a full package of the ranch seasoning mix on this, just so y'all know that we just thought it needed that little extra flavor. And when this had come down to room temperature, then I added those cheese pieces and got them all stirred up. And then this salad went into the refrigerator for a few hours until it was time for dinner. And this salad was a hit by everyone, including my ranch-loving 13-year-old, until he found out that there was mayonnaise in it, and then he wouldn't eat it. Funny how kids are like that. I mean, he ate some of it and said he liked it, but then refused it after he found out there was mayonnaise. Oh well, his loss. So like I said, I just dumped a little bit of brown sugar into these carrots and this ham. This was a little bit more than I could handle. I think the height of the Instant Pot was just too tall for me. But I did change over to this slow cooker setting and just let that go until Bill got home. And then he mixed everything together. He actually made my plate and brought it to me on a TV tray this night. But this is how dinner turned out on this night. I was tired after cooking this meal. On Thursday, I woke up feeling even better, so I made a grocery order and had it delivered to the house. Cameron actually brought all the groceries in and put them on the table, so I was able to do a haul video, so that'll be coming soon. And here I am just getting some frozen meatballs into the crock pot. I so much wanted to make but I also wanted to keep it super simple because I knew that a grocery delivery and getting everything put away was going to be a little bit exhausting for me. So as you can see, I am just using some teriyaki marinade sauce or whatever you call it, and this is a pineapple flavor. That's what I was pointing out. I also poured the juice from a can of crushed pineapple into these meatballs as well, and then some Sweet Baby Ray's, and that is all that I did for these, and I just let them go all day. A couple nights before I did my grocery order, I just made it a mission to find as many easy meals that I could make this week, just because I knew it was going to be a challenge. But we don't like to eat a lot of takeout, and I like to cook. I just really couldn't wait to get back in my kitchen. It makes me feel so good. It's something that I truly enjoy. And here I am making a dessert. And this is a Twinkie cake or Twinkie dessert. And to start off, I'm just making some vanilla pudding. I'm so sorry for the weird angles. I don't know what I'm doing at this point with my editing software, but just bear with me. And next I just added some shredded coconut to that vanilla pudding. And then I got busy getting my Twinkies unwrapped. And so they're all individually wrapped, so that was fun. Standing on one leg and trying to unwrap Twinkies. I don't know. It doesn't sound like it's very hard until you actually try to do it. But anyway, so I'm just kind of measuring out how many Twinkies am I going to need for this. You're technically supposed to cut these in half, but you know, that whole standing on one leg and balancing, whatever. We're getting whole Twinkies in this, so lucky family there. And then next, that pineapple that I had drained and saved or whatever, the juice is in the crock pot with the meatballs. That's what I'm trying to say. So this was what was left, and there's still a lot of juice in there. But I just scooped the remaining crushed pineapple over top of those Twinkies. I don't know if they're supposed to be juicy or not, because I think that this just turns into kind of a soft, like mushy type of dessert anyway, but I was careful trying not to get too much of that juice in there. I do just go ahead and put the remaining pineapple juice into the crock pot with the meatballs as well. Now looking back, I think that I would have liked this better if I had mixed the pineapple in with the pudding as well, but oh well. It turned out good still. But I'm just now putting a layer of that pudding and coconut on top of the pineapple and then smoothing it out. And I had some leftover pudding. I just put that aside and then put it up for later.
Barefoot.
The bananas that I got in my order were a little on the small side, and they were a little on the green side for me. I'm one of those people that look for the ripe bananas, the ones that have the little brown specks, but that's what happens when you don't pick out your own produce. But I'm so grateful for Walmart delivery. Anyway, it came in handy. I do end up using 2 bananas, and no, you don't have to use a big old knife like I am, but it's the one that was the closest to me, so it's the one that I am using. And yes, of course, make your bananas look pretty if you want to, and you know how, I don't know, maybe I don't need to keep saying, but I'm doing the best I can here. So they're just getting kind of sliced up and dumped on, and then I just arrange them as best as I can in the end. In a perfect world, my whipped topping would have been completely thawed out before I even attempted making this, but how funny is that? A perfect world. So anyway, there are still parts of my whipped topping that are partially frozen. I did give it a stir and try to get it broke up as much as possible. Smoothed it on as good as I could, and this is how it turned out. Sorry, I do not have a cut piece of it for this part of my video, but just trust me, it was delicious. And I don't know why, but my body is just craving broccoli these days, so broccoli it is as a side dish. Bill brought home some tater tots and put them in the air fryer, and this was dinner. On Friday, I finally was feeling like I kind of had my life a little under control. I found a nice sunny spot on the porch to sit in for a while and drink some coffee and admire my roses that are in bloom. And then I got busy making up some taco meat. One of the easiest meals that I can ever think of is anything that involves taco meat. So I also have a pack of rice opened up and emptied into the pan. It's super early, so I'm not cooking that yet. I also have a can of pinto beans on the back burner so that later on I can get those cooked up into refried beans. I just seasoned those up with some garlic and some cumin and give them a good smashing. Then I'll just set all of our condiments and toppings out, and everybody can make their own tacos or taco bowls or whatever they like. On Saturday, we kept our dinner super simple again because although I am excited and happy to be back in my kitchen, I get tired really easy and I need to keep dinners as easy as possible. But keeping it simple doesn't mean that they can't be tasty, delicious meals. That's going to be it for this week's video. Thank you so much for stopping by. I would love it if you subscribe to my channel. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.